Just like to ask, I mean, you've said terrorism on that one.
Yeah.
You've got more chance of getting killed by a bumblebee in this country than you have by a terrorist.
Right.
Why so much focus?
Because basically our chief officers decide what our priorities are, and that is the priorities that they've set us.
So you can't question that. From grassroots level, I mean, how many Braintree police officers deal with terrorism?
Very few, realistically.
Yep.
However, there are counter-terrorism officers that
Yep.
if the need arises in the Braintree district, we will deal with them. So,
but the need never has arose, is it?
But we kind of wouldn't really know, because the reason that you have specialist units deal with this is that grassroots policing picks up that small snippet of intelligence that goes to those, and they do it. Because basically now, with the infrastructure that's in place and the movement of people, we don't know who is in our communities, which is why we need to get out there and see and speak to people, for people to say to us, they've moved in, but we haven't seen them for X amount of days. You know, something's going on, there's furniture moving in, but we haven't seen. It's that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but there still isn't any terrorism in this area, so why the focus on it?
Well, you could say that about the airbase that occurred a few weeks ago, where that particular guy was assaulted by 2 foreigners.
Yeah, but that could have just been isn't necessarily terrorism, is it?
Well, no, I agree, not necessary, but the potential of it is that it could be terrorism.
But there's more potential from being killed by a bumblebee than there is for terrorism.
well, it's a priority. It is a priority. I'm not going to dwell on.
I'm not asking you to dwell on it. I'm just asking you to maybe challenge what you think, because obviously while you're wasting hundreds of thousands of pounds on terrorism, why don't you put that into, for instance, catching child abusers?
Okay.
Which is something that I think everyone in this room would agree is a bigger problem.
You'd notice on the priorities we've also got child abuse and exploitation as well.
Great.
In relation